my parents didn't know that we have like 3 properties till like I think last month, and then all our private money come from Mastery because.
Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. I think we're having a really fun podcast today, and we have 2 guys here. You're not going to remember their names, but we call them the 2 bros, right? It's Bharat and Rick. So guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us, Andrew.
Great. So how is it exactly that the 2 Indian guys, right? 25 and 23. You guys are brothers, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So walk me through at the age you're at, right? How do you guys get attracted to real estate? What makes you show up here, and why are you guys here?
So what attracted us to real estate was like when I was a kid, I was always fascinated with the like buildings and architectures and all the different styles.
Hey guys, you're listening to It's All About Cashflow. Nobody wants to go to a job where they have to keep working for the next 10, 20, or 30 years. Either you have cash flow coming in or you have cash flow going out. And successful people have cash flow coming in rather than going out. This podcast is all about finding the quickest ways of how you use real estate to build cash flow coming in. Let's learn, let's listen, and let's grow together.
So I used to build buildings in my house with the small blocks,
Like the Legos.
Yeah.
from the Legos.
Okay.
And then my mom.
Those little bricks, the bricks on the
So
street.
did you guys ever play Monopoly?
I used to play
I have.
Monopoly a lot. Yeah.
Good.
That's my favorite game. Just have everything.
So what do you guys do currently? Are you unemployed? You guys just finished college? What do you guys do exactly?
So I am in college too right now. I'm a full-time student at UIC studying data science. And then we also run a couple different businesses.
Okay, so what kind of businesses?
So we have jewelry business, grocery business, and now we are getting into Airbnbs.
So hold on, jewelry business, is it like a pawn shop or what is it?
I deal with everything. If you want to sell gold, I'm the guy.
Okay. So
We also do like custom stuff. Like we work with like a couple rappers and all.
okay, so we buy gold and
We
all
buy
that,
gold, yeah,
all that
pretty
kind of
much, yeah,
stuff. Okay,
kind
got
of.
But we sell too.
Okay, you guys sell too. Okay, got it. And then you guys have a Quickie Mart also?
We got 2 Quickie Marts.
Okay,
Yeah.
so for people that may not know the reference, Quickie Mart is basically a store, like a corner store
Corner store,
kind of
yes,
thing,
exactly.
right? And you actually, I mean, we're not kidding, you guys actually own that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're in college, right? You're going to be a data scientist, right? And then you run the store right now.
I run actually all the businesses. I'm on the management side. I like to do all the paperwork, talking to
Okay.
officers. Everything goes smooth for the front end people who's handling all the business.
Got it. But this is a customer service kind of retail business.
Correct.
Right? So explain to everybody what are the good things about the retail business? What are the bad things about a retail business?
The worst thing about a retail business is that you have to be present up there. And
Yes.
which is, I don't want to do it anymore. So we transitioned a little bit, but it might take longer, but that's the worst aspect of that business.
So that's the worst. I'm going to add it to that. You're stuck there for your whole life if you don't going to move from there, And the good thing is you're getting the cash flow,
So that's good. At least
that's
okay.
good, yeah.
So the business makes money, but the problem was because that's what I was trying to get to was that what is it that attracted you to come to a real estate event, right? You guys showed up at the 3-day, and you're like, okay, we're going to do this, right? We're
correct.
all in.
Yeah.
Because generally, when you're 23, when you're 25, you're like, man, I'm making some money. I'm going to go out and buy a nice car. I'm going to, do the usual thing,
usual things, yeah.
right? But you guys are driven. Was there some inspiration early on in life? What was it that was a driving force for you guys?
So, like for us, like we have always seen like big celebrities, like, for me, it's like Donald J. Trump, like who made it to the business, I wanted to be like him, but like not like what his personal life is look like. I don't want to be like that, but as a business wise, I want to be like that. So, that's why I came into real estate business.
And more than anything, it was basically the cash flow that it comes in, So it's more passive cash flow. You don't have to be like up there present, like actually ringing the register, it just comes in every month actually,
Okay, got it. So it's all about cash flow.
Cash flow,
right?
right.
Okay, all right, good. So let me ask you this, right? You guys show up at this 3-day, right? And it's not very long ago. What was it? 3 months ago? 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys started this whole journey 6 months ago, and clearly, if we have you here today, is because you've clearly accomplished something, right? So we'll get into that here in a second, but what was your parents' take, right? Whenever they're like, oh, these guys are going to this real estate seminar, and then you come to Mastery, right? What was your parents' take on it?
Well, they were skeptical at first. They were like, what's real estate gonna do? What's the cash flow? 500 a door? How many can you buy? People don't think about the
long-term thing,
long-term thing.
And they don't realize how much scale you
How
can.
much scale you can,
Right? Okay. So at the 3-day, right, we always talk about it's about cash flow. It's about, right, we push cash flow very, very hard, building a portfolio, stacking a portfolio, right? But did you guys come in with the mindset of doing flips? Was there a different perspective at that time when you guys first kind of got exposed to all of this?
So when we first came to 3-day, our main goal was to get into long-term cash flow and every
so you
month
guys
you
were
should get-
always of that mindset.
Correct.
Always about
Yes.
cash flow.
Okay,
We
got it.
will do flips, but not right now. So
Okay, got it.
eventually.
Okay, so let me go back a little bit, right? When you started this business, right? Were your parents in the business you run currently? How did you end up starting that business?
So currently, the business we run, the jewelry business, that's in our blood. You can say our 7 great grandfathers or their great grandfathers were running that business.
Okay.
So that's in our blood. So that was easy to start, for
And
us.
then, did you guys grow up here in US? You guys are obviously from India.
Yeah.
Or did you guys grow up back home?
We moved about 7 years ago from India, actually.
Oh, you guys moved here from 7 years ago?
Yeah, I was 16 when I got here.
I was 18 when I moved here.
Okay, got it. Okay, so fairly recent.
Yeah.
Right?
Everything's pretty
Okay,
recent.
got it. All right. So, was there during all of this time, right? Now you come to Mastery, and did you tell your parents that you're going to this 6 or 7 week class, or they thought you guys were drinking some Kool-Aid?
No, we didn't tell our parents that we're gonna start in real estate because they said, okay, nothing gonna happen because the 500 cash flow doesn't take you to skies,
Right.
So we just started without telling them, and then slowly once we were at 3rd or 4th property, then we told them that we are at 4th property, and then this will be the cash flow,
Right.
Then they came on board and say, okay, we'll give you,
And if you remember one of the classes, the 8-week classes that we take, we told that you asked us what our goal was. So we told you that we wanted to give our dad 10 properties by the end of next year. And then we should be able to hit that goal, but we'll see.
You're working on it.
We're working on it, yeah.
Okay. So right now, how many properties do you guys have?
We currently have 6 properties right now.
6 right now. Okay. So have you done any flips, any wholesales at all, or no?
nothing at all, just sticking to the rentals,
Sticking to rentals.
Yeah.
And in rentals, you guys are doing short-term rentals,
Short-term
right?
rentals,
or sometimes people would call it generically basically Airbnb.
Correct.
Right? What is the reason for doing Airbnbs versus doing long-term rentals?
Well, again, it's the cash flow. Airbnb can bring you 4 times the cash flow a regular long-term rental would do. So, and which we could pay off the property way faster than, as compared to long-term rental.
So this wasn't available 2-3 years ago, because a lot of times when most people think about an Airbnb, they'll think about an exotic Airbnb, what we call an exotic Airbnb,
Correct.
right? That they'll think about, oh my God, it's got to be in Florida, it's got to be in California, it's got to be Smoky
beach or
Mountains,
something, yeah.
right, by the beach.
Yeah.
But you guys are buying boring Airbnbs.
It's in just regular suburbs, old people around us, nobody to bother, which is the best way to do it, actually.
the boring. You can say just boring.
Boring properties.
Boring
Okay.
properties,
Got it.
yeah.
So basically, we say, well, don't do the exotic Airbnbs, right? Do the boring Airbnbs, because it's like owning a taxi, right?
Correct.
You're not going to buy a Ferrari for a taxi
Taxi,
service,
correct.
right? You're going to buy basically pretty much
A Toyota Camry.
Yeah, Toyota Camry, and then just work the heck out of it. And this is what you guys are doing.
Definitely.
Okay, so let's kind of talk through one of the properties and the numbers a little bit. That way it kind of gives everybody an idea of what are we looking at, right?
Sure.
So let's look at, say, your property. You guys have a property the other day. I was there,
Yeah.
right? So let's talk about that one, right? That's how many bedrooms is that?
That
That
is
was-
4 bedrooms and 2 baths.
4 bedrooms and 2 baths. And was it always a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, or did you guys make it?
So it was a 3-bed, 1-bath first, but we added a bedroom and a full bathroom upstairs.
Okay. And how did you guys find that property?
That was from a wholesaler in Mastery.
Okay, so you guys found it within Mastery Group,
Yes.
right? A wholesaler. You guys bought the property as a wholesaler. Now, somebody listening to this would go, man, these guys sound pretty smart, but they're pretty dumb because they bought a wholesale deal. Why would you buy a wholesale deal and let the wholesaler make a bunch of money?
So like it's not the wholesale has to make a bunch of money. Like numbers were working for us, and if we tell you the appraised value or how much we got refi for, you'll be shocked. Like what happened.
Hold on, okay.
Yeah.
So basically, what you're saying is that you didn't really give a damn as to how much the wholesaler was making.
Correct.
What you're looking at is how much you're going to make in the end.
Correct.
As long as I can make money, I don't care about how much you're making.
Got it. Okay, good. So, what did you guys buy that property for?
That one was bought at 160.
60.
So 160 is what you bought it for.
Purchase price.
Right? Purchase price. Okay. And then what was the rehab amount?
Around 40.
Around 40. Okay. So that's basically you're in that deal somewhere around 200,000
correct.
all in, right? So before we kind of get into the appraised value and all that stuff, right? You guys, when you're buying these properties, right? You're buying based on what are the three criteria you guys are generally looking for when you do your property analysis,
So when we look at a property, we see like how much work it needs,
right?
what's the back end, and how much we can get in cash flow.
Okay. So you're looking at basically cash flow. You're looking at back end, meaning you look at the equity of the property, how much equity you're buying, right? And basically that'll dictate your DCR, right?
Yes.
Which is your debt coverage ratio, right? So that's kind of, I guess, you've kind of gotten that through your brain, right? And those are three things. So let me ask you this. Somebody says, hey man, you can make $1,000 on this property, but it doesn't have a lot of equity. Would you buy the property?
For us, yes, because eventually the cash flow will pay off or make the equity in that property. So why not,
Okay, so you're okay with it buying a property even though it may not have a lot of equity?
Correct.
Okay, so right now you guys are okay. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. So on this particular property, you bought it for 160, 40,000 was the rehab.
Yeah.
Now, was there like a money tree or you guys had that much money saved up? How did you guys fund the deal? Because for anybody listening, they're like, well, man, these guys must be really selling some jewelry, right? But where did that money come from?
We're just regular people working a day-to-day job. But for this deal, we got funded from the mastery actually.
Okay, so you guys...
Private money lenders, yeah.
Private money lender.
Correct.
So it was just a private money loan from the group.
From the group,
right?
yes.
Okay, got it. And on this loan, you're paying 2 points, and every month you're
1%.
paying
1%.
1%, right? So basically, if you carry the property for say 3 or 4 months, you're going to pay 1% a month.
A month, correct.
Right? So there's a cost to that.
There's a cost.
right? So what was the appraisal after the property, everything said and done?
Appraisal came out over $300,000.
Over $300,000.
To be
Okay.
exact, 340.
340. Okay, got it. So let me ask you this, right? Were you guys worried when the appraiser goes there, right? Because it's important because for your refinance, because you're going to get a 75% refi on the property,
Yeah.
right? So did you guys go there personally at the property, meet the appraiser, give them comps? What was that process like?
So I had a conversation with the appraisal that if they are okay with bringing me all the documents that what work we did into the property and what location or what ARV we are expecting,
Okay.
He was okay with that.
Okay.
So when I went there, I was all prepared. I talked to him, say hi, hello, how's everything,
So you built a rapport.
Yeah.
Right. And the reason I'm asking question is because I heard from like I heard that you cried, you tried all kinds of things.
Yeah, why not? It's a business.
Hold on, but explain what happened because this is
All right.
interesting because there's a psychology behind
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
right? So explain that.
So I was there. I was the only one. He was not there at that time. Appraisal came in. He was like, I think 60 or 65-year-old. And then he came into the house and asked me, what's your age? I said, I'm 25. He said, good for you. I said, thank you so much, And then we started talking about family and I explained I have a brother who's with me working. I have my parents and all that, And he said, how much work you put it in this house? I said, right now in my bank, I am negative. So he started laughing, He said, okay, welcome to the real estate business,
So hold on, let's just put this. So, guys, listen, again, at the end of the day, right, in real estate, you can't lie about stuff, right? But you can certainly embellish. Meaning, I did a lot of work,
Yeah.
right? Oh my God, it's unbelievable, right? This is a term. It's unbelievable, right? The amount of work. Let them guess,
Yeah.
right? And you can't lie, right? That would be fraud. But you can certainly embellish, right? I mean, I always say, I'm 5'7". I mean, barely I can reach 5'5", right? I mean, it's kind of one of those things that nobody's saying that, but I mean, genuinely, this is about building rapport, right? I mean, you're telling the guy is a
no, that's the
older
truth,
guy,
actually.
right?
Like whatever we had, we spent it all on this house and then waited for a good appraisal to come in.
Come back, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, yeah, because that's where everybody starts,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So you obviously built a rapport with him. You gave him the comps,
Correct.
right? You did all of that, and you basically he's sympathizing with you.
Yeah.
You're not telling him anything
Correct.
different, right? So you guys got a good appraisal,
Yeah.
right? I mean, this was. Did you guys expect a 340 appraisal?
We expected 290.
You guys expected
Actually, when
290.
we started, we bought a property, we were at 265.
Okay.
And then we slowly were adjusting numbers every day before the appraisal
Right.
came in. And then when appraisal came in, he asked me like, how much would you need? I said, okay, if you can give me 3, it will be amazing. He
Right.
said, okay, I'm thinking about 290. I said, good, thumbs up.
That works.
And then he goes home and sends you an appraisal back for 340.
340, yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. But clearly he saw value.
Correct.
Right? He clearly saw comps because it depends on which comps you focus on. If these were 6 months ago comps when the interest rate hadn't gone up, right? Maybe at that time it'd be 360. Who knows,
360, correct.
right? So, okay. So 340. Now, based on 340, you're going to refinance the property, right? So you're basically doing that 257 strategy.
Exactly.
Correct.
Right? 2 years, 5 properties, pay them off in 7,
7
right?
years.
So, but you can accelerate that because of Airbnbs.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So on this property, what do you make a month?
So currently we are making a net on Airbnb is like 2,000.
2,000.
Net.
Okay. Would that be pretty similar? You guys have another property
Yes,
on the northern
close.
part here, like just actually north of where we are,
Correct.
right? 3-4 miles away. And so across the board, what would your average be?
Our average currently is about $2,000 from each property. as
From
an
each
Airbnb,
property.
yes.
Okay. So 2,000. Okay. Got it. So with 6 properties, that puts you at 12,000,
Yes.
right? I mean, that's pretty good, man.
That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's phenomenal, right? Because there's not too many businesses where, and now mind you, in all of these properties, are you going to have any cash stuck at the end of the
No,
day?
Nothing. Zero
Nothing.
dollars.
Nothing yet.
Zero.
And you have equity,
Yes.
We have.
right? You have 20, 25, 30% equity
Correct.
in some of these,
Yes.
right? Okay, got it. So where do you, like, obviously this all started out as a hope and a prayer, right? When you started, because we all have goals and dreams. But clearly, both of you guys are driven. It's great to see that both of you guys are focused. You guys get along because that's a big thing because one person can be. So it's like, if you have a husband and wife, right? If you have a brother or sister, in your case, you guys are 2 brothers, you're young. Do you feel that kind of helps each other to bounce off ideas, build confidence?
Absolutely. Like sometimes I'm not confident about certain things, but he knows his stuff, so we just come there, and help each
So
other.
we both
out.
have like a different perspective while looking at a property. So like, hey, we could do this with this, but he's like, oh no, we can't. I'm like, okay. So we together make it work, So
Right.
yeah.
Because there's a sense of synergy.
Yes.
Right? Because, and that's important because a lot of times real estate is a mind game, right? You're messing with your own head. So if I was to say, when you guys wake up in the morning, right? You guys don't party.
No.
Right? So that's out of the thing. So what is the motivation? Is it, fast cars, women at this age? What is the motivation?
So as soon
or
as we
arranged marriage. I'm not sure what it is. But
So as soon as we open our eyes, first thing is we say thank you for helping us
Right.
out and like we are here.
So you're grateful.
We are
We're grateful,
grateful.
yeah.
Okay.
And then
We begin with like meditating for like 15-20 minutes at least.
You guys actually do this?
We actually do that, yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
All our
Good
family
for you.
does it. Like we
in
sit
the night
together,
also before we
Yeah.
sleep.
Okay, well, good for you. Good
Yeah,
for
you gotta
Okay.
thank the main
Maybe
guy.
that's what keeps you grounded.
Yeah.
right?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
And then we try to go to the gym, and then we plan the whole day that we got this going on, we got this going on, so we have to make sure we go check up on the properties.
But so where's that motivation come from, though? Right? Like in terms of, was it somebody in your family that had done really well, which you looked at and went, hey man, this is great?
Yeah.
Was it coming from India to here and it's like, oh my God, there's amazing possibilities coming to America?
Yeah.
Was it that? What is it that, where does that drive come from?
So like when we came here, once we start seeing all this America thing and the opportunities were like amazing, like then we had no, like the sky is the limit, you can say, and then we started thinking in different and bigger sense that how big we can go. Right. So there is nobody to stop us, so so just go big.
And you're starting young,
Yeah.
which is a big advantage.
Yeah.
So basically, so what does the goal look like, right? Realistically, what is the goal that you want to? So first 6 months, 6 properties.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you've come literally from zero to a hero, right?
Right.
Literally. So now, what do you think is realistic, and how do you think this changing market is affecting you guys? So let's first address what do you think is realistic this year for you guys?
This year we should be able to get to at least 20 properties
By the end of this year.
By the end of this year.
Correct.
So
which
we're
is like
recording
11 more months.
in January,
Yeah.
right? It's almost end of January. So by the end of 2023, you're saying you should be able to get to
Total of 20.
total of 20 properties,
Yeah.
right?
Adding 14 more.
14 more. Okay. So, and are you guys focusing on pockets where you can do Airbnbs, or are you just going after good properties regardless of Airbnbs or long term?
No, we are going for the locations which are good and have like.
Possibility.
We are thinking for the long term, not for the next 5 years or 6 years.
Okay. No, but for what I mean is short-term rentals, mid-term rentals, Airbnbs, long-term rentals. What's your ideal strategy?
When we first look at the properties, we do the numbers and everything. We find the pockets as to long-term rentals.
Okay, got it.
But if they allow short-term, that's perfect.
Obviously
Yeah.
that's
And if the
perfect.
numbers work for the long term, they will definitely work for the short term.
Right. Okay. So you're underwriting the property as a long-term deal. It will work.
Yeah.
Right. You'll make $400-500, no problem. But then as a short term, you'll make money hand over fist.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Perfect. So in terms of at 20 properties, because I think you can get there. No
Yeah.
question about it, right? So by the year end, maybe all of them are not done and performing yet, but
you
you'll
have
be
it.
on your way, pretty close to it. So at that point, right now you're at 12,000, right? At the rate at which you're going, if you average this out, it's somewhere between 35 and 40,000.
Correct.
Right? That's net cash flow.
Net cash.
That's a lot of money at that age. Right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. Is there any number you guys are shooting for, or is it number of properties? What's the goal?
The lowest that's going to keep us going is going to be 100K a month. That's
100K a month.
Net, yeah.
Okay,
100K a month.
got it. Okay.
Just to, have an easy life.
Right. No, and I mean, it might, for some people that are listening, it's maybe like, oh my God, Andrew, what are these guys talking about? But we're talking about net cash flow,
correct.
right? We're not talking about, and that's very doable.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's very doable even with the regular rentals, right? Forget about Airbnbs, right? Airbnbs, it's obviously much easier. With the regular rentals, you just have to have more.
More, correct.
Right?
Yeah.
And when you're buying these properties, the average property, what does that look like? Is it a ranch house? Is it a split level house? Are you guys buying bigger houses? What is the average property that you guys buy?
So average property we are looking at is a ranch house, 4-bed, 2-bath. That's basic. That's all.
Okay. So basically, and you're saying 4-bed because a lot of these will go to Airbnb.
Airbnb
So-
for now, but eventually when we put on a long-term rental, they easily go.
Okay. So basically, if there's something that's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, but the location is right, everything is right, you'll buy them.
Oh, yes.
Take it, yeah.
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 Okay. Got it. So as long as the numbers work.
Numbers
really
work, correct,
Okay.
yeah.
Got it. So for somebody that's listening to this, right? Because nowadays there's so many young people, right, that listen to these things, and they're like, "Oh my God, man, I'm gonna go do multi, right? I'm gonna go do flips. I'm gonna go do wholesales, right?" From your guys' perspective,
Yeah.
right? What would you say to them?
For me, flips, wholesales, and all those kind of business is like running on a treadmill, like you always say. We wanted more of a passive life so that we can sit and enjoy, travel around the world with the passive cash flow that we would have.
Right.
But it's okay to do flips.
You
and
know,
all,
in India, there's a term, right? The old school term. It's called seiji, right? I mean, this is a person generally is going to be overweight, and the hardest work in the day is counting cash.
counting the cash.
That's really.
That's for me. Yeah.
Here you don't want to be, overweight, and even you don't even want to sit behind the
Sitting
counter.
behind the
right?
counter, not anymore. Yeah.
Not anymore. Okay, got it.
No, before you get into multifamilies and all that stuff, make sure you know how to walk before you start running. So
Right.
start with small, and you can always make that bigger.
Right.
in
And
no
the
time.
goal here is cash flow. Right?
Yes.
It doesn't matter if it comes from smaller properties, if it comes from a little bit bigger properties, it doesn't really make a difference.
As long as something cash flows, we're in it.
Got it. Okay, perfect. So anything else that you guys want to share in terms of how are you guys juggling? You're going to school,
Yeah.
right? Plus you're doing this, right? Do you manage the other businesses also?
So I go to school 2 days a week
Okay.
in person, and everything else is online.
Okay.
And I manage all the rehabs that are going on and the management aspect of the short-term rentals.
Okay.
And
For me, like I'm more into management or legal stuff, like getting the permits done, talking to contractors, getting the people on board. So like his life goes smooth when he goes to like rehabs and everything, finding the private money, finding the deals. That
So
comes to
divide
me.
and conquer,
Yeah,
basically.
correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Okay. So in terms of, so you guys are kind of dividing that part of the responsibility,
Yeah.
right? Anytime you guys had any, like your brothers, right? Any fights? No, dude, we should do this. We should not do this.
Yeah, we have fights, but like on those things, like in future, what car we should be buying.
Oh, okay.
Not on the real estate
Okay,
thing.
not on the real estate thing. Okay.
Because
he wants luxury. I was like, no, you gotta get sports. You gotta go fast.
Okay, got it.
No, because I have to trust him when he goes on a rehab, and he has to trust me when I'm on the management
Right.
side. So we don't get into fights on those
Okay.
things.
Solid understanding.
So at least on
Yeah.
those things,
Yeah.
you guys are on the same page.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So and for you, you're juggling your other business,
Correct.
as well as this stuff.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Anything as we wrap this up, because this has been great, because I think a lot of people will find the inspiration. Now, you mentioned private money,
Yes.
right? Have you kind of reached out to your parents, or have you reached out to any of the, since you guys are Indian, any of the Indian community to try to raise private money, or are you guys purely getting private money right now from Mastery? And are you guys getting any commercial loans on the front end for the buyers of the property?
So for us, my parents didn't know that we have like 3 properties till like I think last month, and then all our private money come from Mastery because we don't want to ask our parents and they start asking questions, what's going on, how much is the return and ROIs and everything. We don't want to answer anything to them yet.
Yeah.
Until we make a good cash flow and then we can present them with a good report.
Right.
And we haven't.
No, because
asked,
your
yeah.
toughest judge are going to be your parents.
Parents,
right? Because they're like, "What is wrong with you?" Right? It's normal, right?
It's
They're
normal
like,
for us,
"Hey,
yeah.
This
you
does
know,
not work, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Typical immigrant parents
Parents, correct.
that they're like, "Hey, we know what the family business is. We know this thing works. Let's
Yeah.
just stick to it."
Stick to
right?
it, correct.
But do they come from that school of thought where it's like, no, you got to work hard, right? You got to work hard 30 or 40 years of your life and save every penny, right?
correct,
Because that's the typical immigrant mentality.
Trust me,
right?
I'm still in school.
Right.
There's a reason.
Okay, got it. Okay. So anything as we wrap up, you guys want to share any last words?
I'm just grateful that we joined this community of real estate, and everything we talk here is doable. It's nothing, not a scam or anything. Everything is doable if you work actually like hard for it,
But you have to work. You have to get up in the day, work all your like 10, 12 hours, and then, make sure like if you have to go like smooth in your life to have a cash flow like we do, so you can explore more areas into real estate, or you can buy other businesses actually, so.
With the cash flow.
With the
That
cash
cash
flow.
flow that you're getting.
Got it. So guys, this has been, it's all about cash flow, right? And a lot of times I genuinely feel this, that, as kids, we have dreams, but no ability to achieve them. Yet as adults, we have the ability, but no more dreams, right? And that's something important to understand, that at some point, right? I don't think anybody goes to school and says, hey man, I'm going to grow up and buy a Toyota Camry.
Toyota Camry.
Right?
Nobody.
Nobody, right? We all have these crazy ideas, crazy dreams, but yet somewhere life beats us up, and we so-called, quote unquote, it's like, hey, be realistic,
Realistic,
right?
correct.
And if you're going to shoot, might as well shoot for the stars, because
Yeah.
you never know, right? You
Correct.
might end up on the moon.
On the
It's
moon,
okay,
yeah.
right? So it's been a pleasure, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much.
Thank you so
Congratulations on all your success, and
Thank
guys,
you.
we will talk to you soon.